What's up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of Remarkable Revelations. My name is Alexzandria, and on this channel, I help women tap into their God-given worth by sharing my personal revelations. And y'all, God has been doing his big one, okay? He been doing his big one, but he really been doing his big one in my life. And literally every day I just wake up and I'm just going throughout my day and I'm just like, wow, like this is my life, you know? So what I want to talk about today is obedience and how God really wants us to be in awe of his works and what he does in our lives. Two major things that have been a huge blessing in my life is that I recently accepted a position as a recruitment manager with a thriving firm. And it didn't really hit until the other day when I went to go get approval from my boss to add an additional recruiter to my team. And I got back to my desk and I'm like, I got a team. Like, I'm running this. Like, I wasn't searching for this. Like, it just happened. And I love what I do. And so that's that. I can go on a tangent about it, but the second thing that really has my jaw on the ground often is that I launched my very first challenge, and we start on Monday. So if you're watching this today, we started today. It's a 2-week challenge. It's challenging women physically, mentally, and spiritually, and it's honestly unlike any challenge I've ever seen before. You can still go get that. The link is in the bio. I know we just started today, but you can still join us. But it's 24 pages full of information and it's interactive, and that's nobody but God, y'all. Like, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be creating an environment or a space like that to help other women. I've always wanted to help women, but I never saw me doing it that way, I guess you can say. I say that to say those two things, I feel like, though I know I cannot necessarily earn anything that God does for me, I do feel like there is obviously a correlation with my submission to him, giving him my literally everything and being obedient. So I'm going to read you guys something from Ecclesiastes. And a little backstory here. Ecclesiastes is such a dark book. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I thought I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? But you got to read the whole thing. But it's basically talking about your life is simply a vapor. Like, we all have a time, whether you're good, bad, evil or not, we all have a time. We're all leaving this earth the same way. But it really highlights that you really need to do all that you can on this earth. Leave your mark because it means something. Chapter 3, verses 12 to 14. And it says, I know that there is nothing better for them than to rejoice and enjoy the good life. It is also the gift of God whenever anyone eats, drinks, and enjoy all his efforts. I know that everything God does will last forever. There is no adding to it or taking from it. God works so that people will be in awe of him. God trying to do his big one, not the little one. He trying to do the biggest. What Rick Ross say? That's what God is trying to do in our lives. But it takes our obedience for him to reveal those things to us. And I feel like we get so complacent sometimes where it's like, oh, God know my heart. And it's like, yeah, he know your heart, but he also knows the real version of you, the one he created. But inside that heart, he's giving you gifts and talents, and your joints are working, and you can walk and you can talk and you got a brain to think. So use that to your advantage. We cannot always look at our lives and be like, man, God. And it's like, take accountability for one. Second of all, God knows everything, right? So if this is actually really happening, it's going to work out in your good. But to use the term God knows my heart and to be lazy and not actually work for your dreams, like, how dare you? Submitting your ways to God and being obedient will truly change everything. At the end of the day, all of this is already his. We are simply servants over everything we have in this life. With my brand, this podcast, It's his. He just chose me to be a servant over it. And I am so incredibly grateful. And for that reason, I'm going to be obedient. I see the things that he's doing in my life, and I know that there's absolutely nothing that I can do to deserve all of this. But how dare I not be obedient when he's continued blessing me? Day after day, this man blows my mind. And I honestly just, God's not calculated. So I can't go back to yesterday or to the, like, okay, what did I do to make God do this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The three things that I do in my life to make sure that I am in alignment as much as I can be anyway, right? Because I'm not perfect. But the three things that I do is, one, I fear God. And it's not like the boogeyman or anything like that. It's like, no, I got too much respect for you to be out here moving foolish. I got too much respect for you to read your word and then purposely go out into the world and act like I didn't read what I just read. I respect you. I love you. I love this relationship. So I'm going to act and move accordingly. James chapter 1 verse 25 says, "But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do." He just gave us the game. Step 2, I am truly creating an environment where God can do his best work. Revelations chapter 3 verse 20 tells us, God is always there knocking, waiting to be invited in. He's always there. He's always present. He's just waiting for you to open that door, right? But imagine, and I'm going to use this verse in a more like reality term, but imagine hosting a birthday party or an event and your guests walk in and your house is an absolute mess. Don't misquote me. God does his best work in a mess. You don't have to have everything perfect. But when I say I create an environment, it's more like, okay, I want a thriving business. I want a thriving brand. Am I creating the spaces in my life to where God can see that I'm actually being obedient and moving in that direction? I can take her serious. She's putting in the work. She's over here doing research on this. She's getting rest at night. She's planning properly. Things like that. That's what I mean by creating that environment. What I'm trying to say is that your actions need to match your request. If you're praying for something, but your obedience is not in alignment with what you're praying for, you can't expect anything. Like, that's crazy. You can't expect to go to college and get an A if you ain't study all year. And step 3, y'all, be real with God. Like, I talk to this man every single day throughout the entire day. And I know he'd just be like, Alex. I know he not, but the way I really be talking to him, that's how I feel like he just like, my poor daughter. My poor daughter. But you have to be real. God can handle it. It was never meant for us to carry anyway. Be real about your dreams. Be bold about your dreams. Be real about your weaknesses. Be real about where you know you are really failing at life right now and you need a change. Y'all, at this point in my life, if he rocking, then I'm rolling. Because I'm learning that when I go against the grain, when I pull back, that's when things in my life start to get chaotic. I am learning to live my life with an open hand. So God, you can move me here. I'm going to still be obedient. Okay, God, you can move me here. I'm going to still submit my ways to you. I may not like it. And I'm going to tell him that, like, okay, you got me here. I don't really understand it. If it's in your will, give me understanding. But I'm going to still be obedient. I'm going to still show up. We truly have to recognize who created us. There's so much more that God wants to do with us. I just feel like we just have to be obedient. I told y'all the verse, he wants us to be in awe of him. He wants our jaw to be on the ground. He does. Y'all remember when we were little, right? our parents would, discipline us in their own special way if we were disobedient. And we were disciplined because what they're trying to show us, the way we're acting right now, it's not for our good. But if you listen to mommy and daddy, then it will produce fruitfulness in your life. And that's all that God is trying to say here. Be obedient, son. Be obedient, daughter. I want to make you in awe of me. Fear me, respect me, submit your ways to me, and let me do my big one. So that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope that this was helpful. I believe that this is going to help some people really make a big shift in their life. And if you found this helpful, please share it with a family member, a friend, whomever. And my favorite part, y'all already know, what areas in your life have you realized you have not been obedient and that you have not given it to God? Put it in the comments. I love to talk to you guys. Per the usual, I will link everything below where you can find myself, the brand, and the podcast in the links below. So until next time, y'all, remember to stay and be remarkable, and I will see you in the next one.